I think you always are thinking about them, right? Because when you leave them in sort of a spot. You don't want to sort of finish their story off because it's a series and you still have to continue it. So when I leave Harriet at the end of Edge, she's at a spot where she can go this way or that way. And the reader and I, since I'm a pantser, don't know which way she's going to go. But I put her in a spot where she can make a move. It could be a good move, it could be a bad move, two steps forward, one step back. I don't know yet. I haven't gotten there, but she's in the spot where she can continue. You sort of want to carry that arc through the book, but you don't want that arc to finish at the end because you have to again do it for the next book too. So, in a better spot, a good spot, bad spot, not sure, but she's in a place where something else can happen and it could be logical and it could be progressive and it could be sort of in her story. So you leave her finished but not finished. I guess that's the easiest way of saying it. She's closed up this case. She's caught the murderer. Blah, 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 blah. Her team is good. Uh, Something else can happen, and then she's got to be in a different spot to sort of handle it. So that's the way I sort of look at it. So her new case is this. There is a sort of a tainted drug out on the streets of Chicago. They don't know who's producing it. They don't know where it's coming from, and bodies are falling. We have the death of a young mother. We have the death of two hardworking meatpacking poker players. And then we have other deaths that are sort of sprinkled through the story, and they're not sure what connects them. They know the drug is tainted. They don't know where it's coming from. They don't know who's producing it, and that's what they're sort of working with. The name of the drug is Edge, and so they have to find out where it's coming from. In terms of personal things for Harriet, she's at a brick wall. I mean, she's stuffed down stuff so much that there's nowhere else to put anything else. And so now she has to sort of do something. And so I put her in a position where she does something, a little baby steps, along with the case that she's sort of trying to solve. And then those two things together sort of limp their way to the end of the story because she's got to get better. She's making a move. She's got to get this drug off the streets. And so those two things sort of go in tandem to the end where I type the end. And so I think tried my best. That's all I can say. The stories come to me as I'm doing anything, reading a newspaper, watching the news, whatever. And then if I sort of run into trouble, and I usually do because I'm not a cop, I've never been one, I have cops that I can sort of call and say, hey, and beg for their time. What would you do in this situation? I have a tainted drug on the streets of Chicago. What's the first thing that you would sort of consider? And where would you go? Who would you sort of team up with to sort of find out what was going on? And then I sort of write, and I write until I write myself into a corner, and I stop. And again, if I have to ask, I do. That's how I sort of go through. I write until it sort of seems believable to me. If it seems far fetched, something that would not happen, I check to make sure that I'm, off or not off. Most of the times I'm just a little bit off, and they will sort of put me in the right direction. So that's a good thing to have for people who write crime novels and for people who write police procedurals specifically. I mean, you want to sort of make it sound right and feel right and sort of have that rhythm. And you just check. I mean, cops love to talk. They will talk your ear off if you let them. They are wonderful to sort of share their time and their expertise with me, and I sort of am grateful for that. And so I want to make this character, these cops, as authentic as I can make them, and I do whatever I have to do to sort of make that happen. So if I need the information, I ask for it. If I think I've gone too far, I sort of drive myself back. In keeping with that sort of procedural sort of a thing. So this is what you would do first. This is what you would do second. This is how they would progress through a case. So sort of all hats to the cops for the hard work that they do. And I want to sort of make this cop that's on paper seem realistic to them and for me and for the readers too. I like her partner, Vera Lee. Her partner is sort of the antithesis of what she is. She's sort of, not in the world and in the world at the same time. And Lee is sort of trying to drag her out. So she's in the world full time. So we have that conflict and that tension too. And also that responsibility and that dependency and all of that stuff muddled together, I think sort of gives the book sort of an engine to sort of run on. So it's not just the case, it's also how well this team gets together and how they work together and how these partnership sort of works together, and all of that churn and all of that tension and all that conflict sort of lips to the end, where I get tired. But that's what I'm thinking about as I'm writing it. I think they all sort of serve a function. Once you sort of get your team together, that's your family. Your partner is your family. You depend on that partner to sort of back you up and sort of walk behind you or beside you down that dark alley at 2 o'clock in the morning. Your life is dependent on them. Okay, so you are together in this. The team, again, is the same. I think I like Szymanski the most because he's the crustiest the most. He's sort of a really curmudgeon, sort of an old time cop. He's not used to all these newfangled things that the department is sort of initiating. He knows how to be a cop in the old times. And so now the old cop is coming in contact with female cops and younger cops, and they all have to work together. They have to work as a team. So I kind of like sort of working against that old curmudgeon sort of cop and the new cop, that sort of conflict, that tension. But they're all doing it for the same reason, for the same purpose. So I like all of them individually. I like them as a team. I think as the books have progressed, that team has gotten stronger and more solid.